Hello, Joe here at GoonerTube, and I'm joined by Dawse, and we're going to be talking about the upcoming Europa League match against MOLDE. Who, you say? Well, I'll tell you what, MOLDE are no fools, and myself and Dawse had a little bit of a to-ing and fro-ing about this subject. And if you watch at the end of this video, I think you'll find that I'm going to make a prediction that Dawse isn't going to like. I've already spoken to him about it, so keep watching, and we're gonna see where we go with that one. But keep watching, and you'll see what I mean at the end of this video. Now, Dawse, thanks for joining me, and we have got MOLDE who play in the Norwegian League, and they're riding high in second place at the moment in the Norwegian League, and so they can't be taken for granted. However, the predictive team lineup has come around, and we're just going to run through that very, very quickly. What do you feel about the way the game's going to go, and what do you think about the lineup that should be put out there? Because you were saying a few things about the lineup.
Do you know what? In fairness, I haven't got a clue about this lot. What they call MOLDE.
MOLDE.
No disrespect.
No,
not a clue who they are. But I definitely think we need to go with a strong team. Quicker we complete this group and finish top, the better. Obviously, I'd like to think you'd throw in Aubameyang, Lacazette, Pepe, go a bit full strength, just to get a bit of confidence. Hopefully, with banging a few goals.
Right. Okay.
And then once we're qualified, start throwing the youths in.
Okay. So, at what point do you feel that it's going to be? I mean, when it's mathematically we've qualified without a problem?
Yeah, mathematically.
Yeah.
In all, we shouldn't be finishing second in this group. We should be. Let's be honest. We should be qualified.
So really, win all the home games and hopefully win at least one or two of the away games, and that'll be us, wouldn't it?
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, let's have a quick look at what we think the predicted lineup is going to be. Now, bearing in mind that when Runarsson played the other day, he actually looked quite comfortable, didn't he? He seemed like really comfortable with crosses, and so generally good in the air, fairly comfortable hands.
Commanding.
Yeah, he's not as sort of well built as Leno. Not that it makes any difference because Czech was obviously a bit gangly. But how do you think he'll put Runarsson in this time, or do you think he's going to stick with Leno?
I actually think he'll stick him in. He needs another game to see what he's about. Whatever he didn't have to do too much against Dundalk, but what he done well.
Yeah.
I'd like to see him tested a bit more and just see what he's really about, because I ain't got a clue too much about him either. So.
Yeah. I mean, he's going to have to play him at some point, isn't he, to sort of keep him interested? So I wouldn't be surprised if he goes in there. Now it's predicted that we're going to go with a back three, or well, I suppose a three and the two wing backs, right?
Wing backs.
Yeah. So I wouldn't expect any of maybe the real first choices to be in there. So if we're taking the likes of Bellerin and Tierney and Gabriel out of the picture, we're now looking at the likes of Kolasinac, Louise, and our old mate Mustafi. I mean, if we go with those three, can you see them just handling MOLDE's attack and attacking midfielders well enough with that? I'm bearing in mind we're going to have someone like maybe Ainsley Maitland-Niles and then Cedric on the right hand side. What do you think?
I'd like to think so. I said, I haven't got a clue who they are, so I don't know. I know they've won 2 games. They're second, didn't they?
They have. Well, let me tell you, they including the Europa League matches, of which they're level on points with us. Their goal tally isn't as good, but they are on 6 points as we're on 6 points. They've beaten both the other sides as we have. They lie second. They're lying second in the Norwegian League. They've won their last 4 in the Norwegian League. A couple of them quite convincingly. So they're no mugs. So I'm just informing you. I know you don't. It's hard to know a lot about these sort of sides, but because they play in such a small league and all the rest of it. But they're no mugs. So if you're saying about putting out a strong side, I mean, when you say a strong side, are you talking about?
Well, I'm talking about the front line. I'll be honest, the front line.
Ah, okay.
You'd like to think at the back we should be sound enough, but just for confidence, really, with Lacazette, Aubameyang, Pepe need a few goals. Like to think they'd turn up and get themselves on the score sheet.
Right.
Will they really cause too many problems for the likes of Louise, Mustafi, Kolasinac?
Well,
Really?
yeah,
I
well,
don't know.
you're laughing, but like you say, if you haven't really watched them or seen how they set up, I mean, look, when we played Dundalk, it was fairly obvious that the result was only going to go one way. But you got to look at the result, and from Dundalk's point of view, even though they're a professional side, this is Dundalk we're talking about.
Yeah.
I think 3-0 is a very respectable result, isn't it?
It is, to be fair. We made what was it, the first 25 minutes and made a bit of hard work, but in the end, a win's a win, in it. At the end of the day, you knew they were just going to put every man behind the ball. Like I said, it's a completely different ball game tomorrow. Like you're saying, if they've won the last 6 games, level on points of us, joint second, they'll probably be coming open to nick something, even a draw maybe. You just don't know.
Mm-hmm. So who you putting across the middle then? If you're saying the front three can take care of themselves, if he plays that, like if he was to play the likes of Pepe, Aubameyang, and who with him, like
that's what I'd choose. Personally, I'd choose it. I don't know whether he will. He'll probably go in Nketiah, Pepe, and Reiss Nelson. But whatever way, I'll probably have Danny Ceballos and Willock in midfield.
Okay, yeah.
I
think that's kind of a predictive thing. I think Ceballos needs a run out, doesn't he? Because obviously he hasn't featured. He didn't feature in the last game, and Joe Willock, can step up to the plate. So I'd imagine, like you say, he'll be in there. So do you think if it's the case that he does put Nketiah up front with Pepe, it's ironic, isn't it? I mean, he's putting all these sort of reserves in, but he still sticks Pepe in. Do you think that's because he feels he still needs the time to develop and still needs to play games and still needs to get better?
Yeah, exactly that. Yeah, he's been questioned quite a bit now. So I think he just needs the minutes. Then he didn't get nothing at Old Trafford as well, which I actually thought, because against Dundalk he came off early, so I would have thought he would have probably started against United. Obviously not, but I think that's exactly what it is. Confidence-wise, needs games. So perfect timing, really.
And Reiss Nelson, I mean, he's been really improving, and he's been proving that he's a really good player. I mean, we all knew that anyway. He's very up and coming, good player, but he's been really proving that, hasn't he? That he's great with the ball at his feet. He can run. He's fast. He's he's not shy in the tackle. Do you rate him? Do you rate Reiss Nelson?
Do you know what I do? To be fair, is a lot of hype about him, but obviously, coming into there's been a few games that I sort of watched, and I thought I wanted to see a bit more. Whether that was just nerves coming into the first team or not, but these sort of games now, Europa League, is where he's going to get his chance, and it's on him to impress. I thought he'd done Dawse, he was quality, along with Willock, I thought as well.
Yeah.
So these are the sort of games you wanted to step up. So.
I mean, let's go on the premise that Nketiah is going to start up front and not Aubameyang. I mean, but regardless who starts in that front three, you'd like to think that to get back to scoring goals, because obviously we've been a bit light on in the scoring goals department. To get back to scoring goals is going to be the most important thing here, regardless who starts, isn't it?
Yeah, of course, it's all about confidence at the end of the day. Like I said, I've said many interviews now, we just seem to have lost our way a bit going forward. Last in the final third, I know a couple of people said this, we're missing that number, that magic player like Ozil or someone like that. Even I've said it myself, but
I was just about to say, go on. These are the games. So finish what you were saying.
These are the games where you make it count when you're in front of goal. To get that confidence. It's all about confidence.
I mean. We're not that far off the top if we're going to talk about the league for a second, but you're saying that you still feel like we need one of those players that can split defences to allow the likes of Aubameyang and Lacazette and all the rest of it to actually score those goals that we're lacking. Do you think that's the only reason we're not scoring goals, or do you think there's another reason?
No, I just think obviously Arteta wants every man behind the ball and working after a team defensively, working. Closing down from the front, which is obviously you got the likes of Lacazette dropping in deeper and deeper. By the time we push forward, it just seems once we've got the ball in the box, there's only a couple of players there. I think we just need to sort of get our heads around that bit. It will come, but defensively we've shored up, which is positive.
We have shored up, but then obviously these three that are going in. I mean, I think Kolasinac is one of those that's touted to be sold, isn't he, in January? He never quite, you know, things weren't done in time, or he didn't, you know, quite make the move that everybody was expecting him to make in the late summer transfer window.
Course, yeah.
Luiz is going to be there for the foreseeable, and Mustafi's another one that everybody believes is on his way out, or fingers crossed for a lot of people in that sense. And apparently he has refused a new contract, which is a bit of a touch, really, isn't it? So, you know.
You know what the thing is, right? We can't. I've always thought we can't shift these players. These players are Europa League standard players on Champions League money.
Yeah.
So when teams come into them, and then like Kolasinac is on 90 grand a week supposedly, like Mustafi 100 grand a week. People coming in must be laughing at us, thinking, "How on earth are you playing these players?"
Yes.
So this is why you can't shift them. I
mean, probably combined, Mustafi and Kolasinac are probably combined the amount of wages that the whole of the Molde team are probably receiving a week. You know, that wouldn't surprise me. But so it goes to show you, if they're not good enough, and like you say, the Europa League players on Champions League player money. So do you think that overall Arteta's heading in the right direction with the players he's bought? I mean, think about Partey and Gabriel, and he's got Willian in for free. Do you think he's heading in the right direction?
Definitely, he's come in, and he straight from the first day he knows what we actually need. I think he knows the fans have been crying out for years. We need a solid centre back. He's gone and got that.
Yeah.
He's gone and got someone just sit in front of the defence. Partey, box to box as well. He can do everything, can't he?
Absolutely.
Probably the best striker in the Premiership. It's just about having someone behind him, feeding him.
Mm. Although having said that, I know Wenger, I often say it about Wenger, used to say, you know, it's like getting a new player when a player comes back off of a loan. You've got to admit, the 91st minute the other day, and Elneny was sprinting.
Unbelievable,
to shield the defence. I mean, the change in that player, the work rate hasn't necessarily gone down, but the tactical awareness and what Arteta is getting him to do now, you can see the change in him, can't you?
Of course, yeah, of course. And not only that, he came back from loan with something to prove as well, which is why he's getting the sort of performance you're getting out of him.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, at the start of our conversation, I did say that there was going to be a prediction at the end of this video regarding this game. Now, when I mentioned this to Dawse just looked at me as if I was mad, right? Hence why he's smiling now, right? So when I said to him, "Do you want to predict a scoreline?" Dawse, do you want to tell me what you think the score is going to be against Molde?
I'm going Arsenal 3-0.
So you're going to go the same as Dundalk. Yep. Okay, so here's my prediction. And I know this made you kind of half smile and then look at me through a gap in your fingers, right?
You've had something to drink before this, haven't you?
I believe, someone put something in my drink, right? I've been thinking about this all day long. And I'm going to say, right, that if Arsenal aren't careful, because of the way Molde have been playing, I know it's only the Norwegian League, and I know they've beat the other two teams in this group, and they're obviously the favourites now to go through with us. I know things can change, but they are the favourites to go through with us. If we don't start quick and we don't put them under pressure quick and play the ball quickly, right?
Yep.
I reckon they can nick it. I reckon they can. I reckon, do you know what? Let's go back a step, right? Just quickly.
Go on.
Leicester City. I know I'm not comparing Molde with Leicester City, right? But I think I remember speaking to you, and I spoke to Tony and Kaya, and I said that we all agreed we needed at least 4 points out of 2 games. Everybody thought, okay, so let's hope we beat Leicester, and if we can grab a draw at Man United, that's the 4 points. What happens? We lose against Leicester. The result we thought we was going to get. And then we knew we had to do a job on Man United, and somehow we pull it out of the bag and we play brilliantly, right? What I'm saying is he's going to be putting out a second string team out tomorrow, like a 3/4 second string team. Okay. Now we're light on the ground for goals at the moment as it is. Mustafi, Luiz. Yeah, Luiz played quite well against Leicester before he got injured.
He was our man of the match.
Yes, he was. He was like a quarterback spraying those balls. And Kolasinac. You never quite know what you're going to get with Kolasinac, but you kind of know what you're getting with Mustafi. Now, if they've got a good, strong, fast centre forward, You know they've been watching the videos. You know where they're going to put their centre forward, whose shoulder they're going to put him on. So it's going to put pressure on the other two to perform. Cedric's going to have to drop deeper. Listen, I'm telling you, if we don't start out of the blocks quick, right, and they nick a goal, you know what's going to happen. I'm not saying necessarily they could win the game, but what I'm saying is that if they nick a goal early, you know what's going to happen. They're going to go and they're going to park the bus. So all I'm saying is, I'm not saying we're going to lose the game, but I think if we're not careful, I think Mulder could nick it.
So what's your prediction?
Well, my prediction is,
if they nick it,
my prediction is, I don't think if we beat them, we're not going to beat them by a lot. I think we'll probably beat them 1 or 2-0, right?
Yeah.
However, like I said, I'm going to repeat this again. If they do not get out in the blocks quick, right? I hope I'm wrong. I really hope I'm wrong. But if they do not get out in the blocks quick, I think Mulder might nick a goal, maybe late first half, early second half, and they'll try very, very hard to hold on to it. And then what will happen is, right, it's going to be one of two things. We're either going to see the Arsenal of old, where we lose our nerve and then we end up maybe scoring a goal late in the 92nd minute or something, or we're going to struggle to score and Mulder are going to try and play us on a break each time, and Arsenal are going to be aware of that and they're going to try and nick the equaliser, and we're not going to nick it, and they nick the 3 points. I'm just saying. Listen, you can't say anything. You'd never heard of them up until today.
Well, I know they just about beat Dundalk 2-1.
Well, bully for you. I'm glad you know a little bit about them, but I'm just telling you, that's my prediction, right? And I'm sticking with it. I think
if they were to win 1-0.
Well, I'm not going to jump up and down for joy, am I? I'm just going to
say, you're saying if they win 1-0. Is that what you're saying?
If Dundalk win, they're going to win it by 1 goal. Yeah, they'll.
We're not talking about Dundalk. We're talking about
Arsenal.
Mulder.
Sorry, Mulder. Sorry, what? That's you mentioning Dundalk. That is. See,
I'm just saying.
You're getting in my brain, right? So yeah, Mulder. If they nick a goal early or towards the end of the first half, they're going to shut up shop because they're going to have to. And the most they'll get out of it. When I say the most they'll get out of it, I think the most Arsenal get out of it will be a draw. If they go back to being the Arsenal of old, if they start playing as the Arsenal of new, then I think they'll come out and they'll probably win it 2 or 3-1. My guess is, my prediction is a very close match. We're either going to beat them 1-0 or 2-1. All I'm saying is Arsenal need to be very, very careful. That's all I'm saying. And that's the end of it.
If Mulder pick up, let's say win. If Mulder win, I ain't doing a reaction.
You have to.
No,
you have to. No, you have to. You have
to. I'll be called out from here. No time. Phone's going off.
Oh, don't. Yeah, you say I can't. I'm doing something with the kids. Yeah, that's it. I'm done. I'm not giving you a reaction. But listen, I'll be saying, don't say I didn't tell you. Don't say I didn't tell you. Listen, I love Arsenal as much as you do, but sometimes we never know what Arsenal are going to turn up. Let's just hope they've turned a corner. But thanks for joining me anyway.
No worries, mate.
Let's see. Good luck. All the best.
Great, Joe.